Hello, everybody. I believe we are live. We are still trying to set up here, so it's kind of weird a little bit. But here is Kevin. Here is Laura. I don't know if you can see us. Oh my God! I have to.
Oh, I know what that is.
There it is. So, as you can see, one of us is not here. Pablito, Paul, my love, he's not here. He's actually in Las Vegas. He had to go back for work. Things happened like that. It was not planned. It was something that it was last minute. So he is gonna join us. We tried to do it before the chat, like try to bring him like online so you can also see a screen with his face where he is, but we couldn't do it. We couldn't figure out how to do it actually. So he's gonna be in the actual chat, talking with everybody with my name. So if you see like Lorena Sharon or Alejandra Lorena Sharon, that's my actual first name. Alejandra is like that's gonna be actually Paul interacting with you, just writing and messaging everybody and maybe answering questions. So feel free to ask him questions as well. He's here, just not his face is not here. Let me turn a little bit more so you can see all of us a little bit. And I know you should. Uh, so we are in Alaska. I know that in the videos we're a little bit behind. A little bit is an understatement because we have been in Alaska already for a little bit. In the videos we're just entering Alaska, but we are right now in Anchorage, and here's where we are waiting for Paul, since this is where the major airport is where he had to fly out from. So this is where we're just waiting for him.
Paul, come back!
I know. He's like, we're all missing him. We were actually, he was expected to be back yesterday or the day before, something like that.
Thursday, yeah.
And he had to stay for a little bit longer. So we're still here. I think we're the only ones up here in Alaska that came to visit and that not doesn't live here, and we're still here. Most of the people, I think they're gone. So we asked you guys to actually ask some questions beforehand so we can respond, because it was getting a little bit crazy, and I know a lot of you guys were asking questions and probably we will miss them. But so this live, we're gonna do it a little bit different. We, instead of actually answering the questions all the time that are coming up on the chat, we're actually gonna answer the questions that came up during the week. So Kevin is nice enough to actually keep up with those questions. So he's the one that is gonna bring them up in a minute.
Be so excited.
Be so excited.
Yeah. Let's get pumped.
Yes, let's do this. So Kevin,
real quick, is it getting cold?
I'm cold. Like you can see, I already shop for clothing up here in Alaska, like all flannel and warm and kind of like lumberjacky kind of thing, like with my axe. So I'm already ready for it.
I need to. Where's the axe at? It's over there.
Yeah, and thank you, Corey. Is like we met Corey and Jesse here, and they actually taught Kevin and Paul into buying. How is it called?
Reciprocating saw.
So yeah, so now we're ready to actually just chop down wood and have like fires anywhere and everywhere.
Yeah, Paul and Paul Bunyan. So that's what we're calling ourselves. That's our new band name.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Awesome.
So yeah, first question.
All right. So because it's a threesome, I'm going to be less involved in chat. I'm going to let Paul kind of take that over. I'll jump in when I'm not talking, but yeah, just I'm going through the Facebook thing. So a whole lot of questions. Let's see. What do we have? Are we gonna ban Rick Clark from the chats and allowing Amy Clark to stay in?
We are considering that very. No, we couldn't do that. No. It's like he's just so fun. If you see any weird comment about from Rick, it's like he's a fun dude. It's like don't take it in the wrong way.
Yeah, no. Okay, Trisha Golding. You,
me,
the collective motorhome experiment. Vegan RV, Let's Jump More Journey, Keep Your Daydream are all up there. Do we know each other?
Do we know each other? Oh wow, somebody's calling. So
I'll take it.
Actually, we know each other. We have we met on different times. We met first Trish, well, no, Mark, and actually Kayla. We didn't met Trish down in Arizona. That was like a year and a half ago. That was like a long time ago. When we were just literally just starting up. That's the first time we met them. And since then, we have never crossed paths because usually everybody stays on the West Coast. We're the only crazies that went East Coast last year. It was until now that we actually somehow we cross paths up here in Alaska. It's not like we planned it to come up here all together. And this young, we met them in Quartzsite actually. Well, I guess it's beginning of this year. It was in January, and they're super nice people, all of them. And we actually didn't get to see them because we were like same in Alaska, but still very far away. It's a big state. People think that it's a small state, but
Texas can fit inside.
Texas can fit inside. That's where it's like, oh, hey, you guys are in Alaska. You're like, man, it's 3 days that way.
Yes, it's like so we were like close enough, but we were still not that close to actually get to see each other. We just like, so it is what it is. We will catch them up somewhere else, but probably not here in Alaska anymore. So yeah, so do we know each other? Yes. It's like we plan to come up here together? No. It's like because somebody said that there was a master plan. It's like, oh, all the YouTubers have this master plan.
Yeah,
it's like no at all. It's like it just happened to be that way.
In fact, our original plan was Baja to Barrow, so Baja, Mexico to Barrow, Alaska. We went to neither of those places.
No, well, we have gone through that before.
Right.
Baja, thank you to Laura. It's like, but Barrow, I don't think we can drive to it. Like, do we figure out if we could drive to
I mean, you can drive to anything. If there's a will, there's a way.
I don't think you can drive.
All right. Who's with me? Who's with me?
No.
Tell me in the comments what's up.
I already did the Dempster that I was up to the Arctic Ocean. It's like I think that was pretty awesome, but I think that was enough for off-roading.
Yeah, I hear you. All right. Are we good?
Are we good?
We covered it. Boom. Linda Campo. Sorry if I messed it up. Are you considering a Quartzsite get-together this winter?
We are. I mean, we're still talking about it. We're on should we? Because actually, Paul and I, we had the deal of going like East Coast, like after being West Coast this year, going East Coast again to Florida, warm Florida after being in cold Alaska. But somebody in this table is going to get a puppy if we stay East Coast.
Why does this keep coming up?
Oh, West Coast. I'm just saying. So it's like I change all my plans. No pressure, but I change all my plans so Laura can get a puppy.
Oh my God.
So because of that, yes, we're considering going to Quartzsite and meeting and camping with everybody. Probably we were thinking a week or a few days before even the tent opens, because I know once the big tent opens, everybody gathers and they have their own plan and their own way. So that's the only plan we have overall, but we have no defined dates or a place or anything like that. Yeah, us is going like so far.
So far.
I'll go get him.
Like he's too comfortable here.
He loves it here. That's amazing.
Yeah, he comes running now.
Man, dude, you don't want to get Laura over there. She'll snap him.
Yeah, now he's here. You can see him now over the table a little bit.
Awesome. So let's see here. What do we have next?
Yeah. What's next?
All right. So Annette Taylor. Let's see. Okay, there's several questions in here. How many bears did you see so far?
That's a tricky question because I have to say in Alaska, the state of Alaska, 0. Like seriously, it's like moose on the East Coast. It's just a myth. I haven't seen one bear. Like I came here, you guys know I'm afraid of bears, and I came here like all paranoid about it, like it will be everywhere around the corner. And now I'm just so laid back, like it's like, oh yeah, there is no bears around. It's like, who cares? But these guys, they already have been to Denali. They told me for sure we'll see them in Denali.
I mean, it's guaranteed. We paid to have them there when we show up.
Oh, you did? Can you pay again?
It's reserved. Yeah.
Okay.
Just so you can see them.
Actually, we were gonna pay to go and see them at when we were in Homer, across the pond, to say like that. Lake Clark, something like that, or Root Falls, and no, Brook Falls it's called. And we didn't get to really stay in Homer for too long and wait out the weather, just because Paul had to fly back. So we actually had to cut it short in Homer and come back to Anchorage earlier than expected.
Yeah.
So that was my one chance I was gonna have to see bears,
Yeah.
and I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, which is crazy because we started watching the cams that they have
Oh, yeah,
on
they have
some of
live
the
cams,
at some
yeah.
of the falls, and you get to see the bears like sitting there fishing,
Mhm.
and it's so cool.
It's just
so
so
cool.
cool. And that's why I was gonna pay to literally go and see bears.
Yep.
But it didn't happen. I don't think it's gonna happen this trip. So I guess it's one of those things that you leave for another time that we come back to Alaska at some point.
It's
Yeah.
You can't do everything in one trip.
No,
you
and
know?
we're trying to do everything, but yeah, you just can't.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. So, next question in there, was the highway as bad as it looked? And did you receive any damage to your motorhome?
What highway? Here's the thing. Well,
Well, here's the thing. They don't know where you've been so far in Alaska.
Let's break that down. Yeah, sure. Let's break that down into two pieces. First piece is like, is the road coming up to Alaska bad, or even in Alaska bad? No, not at all. It's like, I would say there's very small parts where it's kind of like a little bit bumpy, and that's about it, but it's not bad at all.
Mhm.
Where it was going up to Arctic Ocean, that's a Dempster, and that's still on the Canada side. Is like, that's totally different. That's in the Canada. That's a side trip. It's not coming to Alaska. And I think a lot of people are getting confused by that, because we got some comments like, "Oh, you just make sure that I'm never gonna go to Alaska if it's that bad." But they don't understand that the Dempster is actually a side trip. You don't have to do it, and you don't have to go off-roading. So, and even that road wasn't that bad. I think there's another little side trip we did all together to McCarthy. That was bad. That was even
rough.
worse than the Dempster Highway or the top of the world.
Yeah.
So that one was bad.
We sustained damage to the RV on that road.
Yes, you should tell them your little story.
So the road to McCarthy is just a little bit over 1.5 cars wide. I feel like at any point.
Tight.
It's pretty tight, and unfortunately, you just have to go slow, especially in a motorhome. Now, if you're in a 4x4, you can fly down it if you wanted to. But what happens when you're in a motorhome? You start to get people that know and they want to pass. Well, I'd had it with this one guy, so I pulled over, and he came really close to hit me, so I got over a little bit more. Well, that little bit more sent us into the ditch and just like totally marred the side of the RV.
Next to the ditch, there was like a wall of
like rock and stuff.
Yeah. So there's where he hit his RV. So he had a little bit of damage there.
Yeah.
So McCarthy again is a side trip. You don't have to do it at all. You can always drive your car there. You don't have to take your RV at all.
Or you can take there's a shuttle that takes you there.
Yeah. So there's many ways to get there. You don't have to take your RV, but again, that's a side trip. So the main roads in Alaska is like the lower 48. I don't see any different. Just little parts here and there where you have the, how do you call it, frost hives?
Frost heave. Yep.
Frost heaves. It's like, but that's very little places. Like, it's not the majority. I would say that's like the 5%, if that.
Yeah.
But roads have been surprisingly good too.
Yeah, they haven't been terrible in my opinion. I mean, I expected worse.
Yeah.
So
like, we were prepared for the worst, because we hear so much about like, oh my god, you need extra gas tanks and extra water tanks, and you need extra like spare tires, like probably 2 with you for the RV.
Yeah.
And we heard like so much of this stuff that we were like so paranoid about it.
Yeah.
And it has not been that bad.
No,
like
not
it
at
has
all.
not. And there's places everywhere you can get stuff fixed.
Yeah. And I feel like, people that had come up here before kind of got me into that mental thinking of I needed to be prepared for all this stuff. And maybe Alaska turned themselves around in the past 3 years, but it's been just as easy as being in the lower 48.
Yeah, it's been smooth sailing.
Yeah.
It's like we were talking even about the spare gas tanks. It's like, unless you're driving a small motorcycle, I mean, there's really no need for it, because you can get from major town to major town that they're open every month of the year. I mean, because people live there.
Yeah, and as far as gas is concerned, I mean, there's gas all along the way. It just depends on how much do you want to pay. can you wait till you get to the next major city where it's a little bit cheaper, or are you going to be out in the middle of BFE and be stuck with the $1.99 a quart?
With us, we try never to cut it that close because
Right.
I know there's
Or liters,
people that
sorry.
they're trying to cut it that close. But it's like we always have plenty because
Right.
yeah, just in case, right? But it has not been that bad though.
No,
I
not
mean,
at all.
Oh, and if you're asking what we're drinking,
Oh yeah, drinks.
I'm drinking actually kombucha. It's under here, and this is my koozie. Look at this koozie. I loved it.
Working on
It's
my
like
bucket
working on
list.
my bucket list. I love it.
It
What
should
are
be
you-
working on your bottle list. Oh, bucket of beer though. Okay, that makes
Well,
sense.
no, but
All
that's
right.
a
Maybe
play on the
bucket of kombucha.
graphic.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never know what's in there.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily beer.
Hot sauces could be in
Hot
there.
sauces. Hot sauces on ice. That's awesome. All
What
right, what
about
are you
you guys?
drinking?
I'm drinking boring fizzy water.
Yeah, she's always a healthy one. She's
Make
the
me
one that
feel
keeps us
terrible.
all straight.
Kevin, Budweiser, the king of beers, non-alcoholic.
Yeah.
So.
What's the point of that?
Oh, well, I thought you were going to be drinking beer, so I was like, oh, I'll try to. I want to look as cool as you do.
Oh,
you are who I aspire to be,
please.
and
It's like
that's
these
what
guys
it
get
is.
recognized everywhere too. It's like,
Man, whatever.
we're
Every
looking at
time,
the pussy thing.
listen to this. Every time we are in, somebody said they're like, Kevin has a fuzzy mole on his head. I'm like, what are you talking about? Oh, like I even did this to look.
It's a mic.
It's the microphone. Yeah. Every time we're in the store with you, somebody says, "Hey, aren't you Lorena from the Motorhome Experiment?"
Yeah,
course
and
that
it's
someone
this
is
too. It's this too.
I don't know what you're talking
We have
about.
always that joke. Whoever sees each other in the grocery store before the other one is like, "Hey, are you vegan or me?"
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, tell me. This is Pamela Rogers.
Hey, Pam. Hey, Jim.
Okay. Tell me true. Did you check into a hotel when you got off the Dempster Highway so Miss Lorena could soak in a hot tub? You looked so refreshed and cheery, and your hair had great bounce. I can't imagine the dust and muck and mud didn't permeate every. Well, you get the gist of the question.
Well, it's like the dust and muck and everything it got on me. Really, it was on Freya. It's like
The RV was in
it
rough
was
shape.
a mess. I mean, even up to not too long ago, I was still like washing the baked areas and trying to get the mud out.
Right.
And Kevin was helping one of the tires, and
The tires were pretty crazy.
still some of them still pretty bad. So we haven't still not gone through all of them. But no, I didn't check out in a hotel. We have a full hookup site when we got to Dawson City, so that was nice because we could wash a bunch of stuff and even ourselves and all that stuff. But I think after so long of being in the middle of nowhere, it's like it was just so fun, and we're so happy to be surrounded by people and things and entertainment that we just had a blast in Dawson City. I think that's why we looked so cheery too in that video, because we were so happy and having so much fun too.
You're like, wait, we're waking up and we don't have to drive today?
I know. It's like since we started our trek to Alaska, right, by doing our detours, I mean, we hustle. I mean, we have been driving. It's like so yeah. By Dawson City, it was like we were like, oh yeah, like this feels so good.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, next, Danielle Little. How long do you recommend spending? 2 to 3 months. We're definitely doing the Dempster Highway. Okay, so I'm guessing Danielle Little is coming up here. How much time do you recommend for the experience of from the lower 48 up through Canada, Alaska, doing the Dempster, and going back down to the lower 48?
Take as much time as possible. The Dempster is very time prohibitive. They have a very extremely short season. More if you're going to talk, like if you're going to Inuvik and taking Dempster, you're going all the way to the Arctic Ocean. So Inuvik, because more inland, they have a month and a half season, but Tuk is even like, no, they have more. Like they have like 2.5 month season, but Tuk is only like a 6-week season. So you have to be there like July, mid-August kind of thing if you're going to Tuk. But I have to tell you, this is a mistake we did. Seen videos from other people, we were like, oh my god, it's like it looks like there's not that much out there, so we just can go through it pretty quick. It's like we don't need that much time. this is the one thing we didn't factor in, and it was our mistake: the weather. Yes, you can do a lot of stuff very fast if the weather is always nice. It's like, but in some places you have to wait out the weather. So I will plan to be in certain areas a week at a time. Like if you're in Denali, how long you stay in Denali? It was like 10 days.
10 to 14 days. I mean,
We split it up because we had to go back to Fairbanks, but yeah, it was something like that. It was about 10 days total.
Exactly. So that's my point. Is like you have to stay in some places so you can have nice weather to do certain activities, or Denali to go and see Denali that not too many people get to see it because of weather. So many things like that. So weather is the one thing we didn't really thought that we will actually be an inconvenience as much as we think it is. Like Alaska, I feel is like 4 days rain, 2 days nice. So if you stay 1 week on Seward, for sure you will have nice days, but you need to wait out until the nice days come up. So I will say come up here as long as you can. If you're gonna do the Dempster on the way up, try to be there on early July. That they're still gonna be chilly, but that gives you plenty of time here in actual Alaska to do a bunch of stuff too, and not be rushing through stuff. So that will be my advice. So
yeah. I mean, I would say the same for us. The more time you can give yourself, the better, because you're driving this many miles. Why not? I'm trying to do a couple things here at one time.
He's doing his tech stuff.
So
I will say to give you a lot of time to yourself to do activities and to come up here.
Yeah, because here's the thing: you can always leave early, but the problem is if you get up here and you want to stay up here longer and you start in here later, you're not giving yourself as much time.
Yeah, a lot of people that we saw up in the Dempster, they were doing it actually on their way down. They have been up here in Alaska extremely early in the year, and then on the way down they swing by the Dempster. Like actually the people we jump into the Arctic Ocean with, they were on the way down already. So it's up to you. Just give yourself plenty of time to wait out the weather wherever you go. So that's my response.
So real quick, everybody is having the hardest time that you're typing and you're also talking at the same time. Like, you are Superwoman.
What do you mean typing on top?
Because he's typing. Paul is typing as you.
Oh.
Some people haven't, like, so if you want to reiterate that real quick.
It's like my golf game. He's like, I'm a badass.
You're just like,
I'm just
oh
a kick ass. Yeah.
That was awesome. So Paul is in Vegas.
Yes.
And he's you in chat.
Yeah, for the new people coming up. Yeah, Paul in Vegas, and it's Lorena Sharon or
Lorena Sharon.
Okay, Lorena Sharon comes up my name, and it's Paul typing. So yeah, that's him interacting with all of us.
And Paul, if you're watching, check email. I just messaged you. Okay, so cool.
Cool.
All right. Whoa, Keith. Holy crap. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to skip that one. We might be here for the next 45 minutes, me reading that one.
We'll come back to that one eventually.
Yeah. Let's see. Chasing Our Dreams. Cool name.
That's cool, yeah.
How did the gas Class A handle the trip? Other than the mud, did it do the ups and downs well? They're debating gas versus diesel. So
okay, we can go like 45 minutes here and answer this. But I still think there's huge misconception about gas versus diesel.
Yeah.
You don't need a diesel unless the only place you're going to be is up and down the Rockies all the time. But that's about it.
And pulling like the heaviest car imaginable.
Yeah, I will say
Right?
that. Yeah, because
yeah,
I remember Richard and Cheryl, they had a minivan and they didn't want to buy a new vehicle, right, to take it on the road, but they wanted to bring the minivan, but they don't want to go diesel. It's like, no, you can't have a gas coach and pull a large vehicle. It's like you have to have a small vehicle with a gas coach.
Yep.
But it handles extremely well on hills, extremely well on rough roads. I mean, I have no complaint about gas at all. I mean, I really don't.
Yeah, us either. And we even drove through the Rockies, and we're here. I mean, we weren't going up and down constantly, but yeah.
I would say if you're gonna carry a lot of toys too,
Yeah.
Diesel gives you the space and the weight limit to do that. Like us, even carrying our golf clubs and the kayak and all that, we are in the borderline of like our max weight in the RV.
Right.
So
yeah. Usually with the
one.
diesels, you get like a whole lot more basement storage.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's some advantages to that, but I mean, I would say we're comfortable. You're comfortable. Like,
Yeah, no problems whatsoever.
in fact, I think we could deal with less space.
Yeah, we all have been talking about downsizing. Some
to
people,
one RV.
No,
Oh, that's messed up.
Like seriously, like
Tried.
seriously, we will kill each other.
Yeah, we would.
Like because even though like we get along very well, we hang out very well, it's like there's days that we just like it's like okay, you go there.
I'm not touching you.
Exactly.
Exactly. See, there's the point. Awesome. Uma Kaufman.
Hey, you, Mom.
Would you make a second trip to Alaska? Are there places that you didn't get to?
Yes and yes. We will do it. Paul and I were talking though that we're not sure if we will still do the trek all the way up here with RV. I mean, it's a long way just to get up here alone. It's a long way. It's a lot of miles.
It is a lot.
So we were thinking, well, maybe we can fly in. And the thing here in Alaska is rentals, truck rentals. Oh, somebody came and say hello.
Hey,
Ozzy. What's up? So there's a lot of truck rentals, truck camper rentals here. And if you just want to experience Alaska without driving up here, I think that's the way to go. You can fit anywhere and everywhere for boondocking, for anything. And it's off-roading, it's trucks. So most of them are 4x4 too. So that's a great way to do it. So Paul and I, we have thought that maybe at some point doing it again. Not sure we will bring our RV. But I mean, things might change. Probably in 2 years, we will forget about the long trek and we'll be like, yes, let's do it again.
Yeah.
And just come up here again.
You need that drive to wear off for a little bit, and then
Yes,
it'll be good.
Yeah, and take your time coming up too. Like just stay at the state parks, territorial parks, or provincial parks, and just go hiking, visit the little towns. I think that will break down to a little bit the miles coming up here.
I mean, even there's so much boondocking the whole way up here. You can even just break it down into like 100-mile segments, even less than that probably, if you wanted to.
Yeah.
And it's just gorgeous the whole way up.
Oh,
it's
so
set
pretty.
for between, I would say,
Dawson Creek
and
Fort Nelson was kind of
the Fort Nelson was kind of blah.
A lot of trucks too.
Yeah.
Oh, and that was the second. I forgot to answer that second part of the question about the bears. It was in Canada where we saw a lot of bears.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys did too.
Yeah, that's what we saw.
It's like most of the bears you will see them in Canada, not here in BC.
Yep.
So it's pretty.
So, well, you don't know the places that you didn't get to because you haven't been there yet. So far, yeah. Right. So it's kind of hard to say, except for the bears and the water in Brooks Falls. Somebody reminded me it was Brooks Falls.
Brooks Falls. I know.
Area.
It's like I'm not gonna get to go.
I'm sorry.
I know. I was so excited about that one.
Yeah. I mean, I would just say for us, I can't wait to come up here again. I love it. It's beautiful. In the summer, the weather is perfect. I haven't had to wear jeans so much in my life.
Like the 1 week of summer?
Yeah, the 1 week of summer where I had shorts on. And then the rest of the time it's been beautiful, except for the outside of the rain that started like the end of this month of August.
Yeah.
It's really been
like
so
we went to
the
farmers market today, and one of the girls there told us that actually she likes September more, and because supposedly she said it stops raining, and it's like instead you can appreciate the nice sunny days because it stops raining. So hopefully that's the case because we're still up here.
Yeah, please. And these guys have to see Denali, so we need it clear.
Yes. Yeah, we still need to see Denali, so hopefully the weather clears out.
Yeah.
But we only have like 2 days of summer, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
That was it, because we went even more north. So for us, I think that's another thing that we had, or at least me, I don't know, Paul, I had a little bit of a rough time. Like I'm so used to warm weather and sun and all that stuff that it's like for me it has been like winter for so long. Like
it has been overcast,
flannel and jackets or sweaters for so long.
It's quite, even with the 24 hours of sunlight, it's still like, because it was, I feel like such a smaller portion of the time. I don't know. It's been really weird, especially lately. It's just been
Why do you mean a
overcast.
smaller portion of the time?
I don't know. Well, for you guys.
Well, no. Well, yeah, for us,
Yeah.
was a long time.
Right.
But anyway, yeah. Sunlight actually was not that bad, I have to say. I'm assuming
We covered our windows.
I think somebody's gonna ask that, but we'll get to it.
Let's see here. Some of this is similar.
No pressure, Kevin. It's like 332 people are waiting for you.
You should go back to the one that was long that
You-
you didn't want to read.
No, because there's so many more other than that. Well, some of these are still like, hey, did the RV sustain any damage or anything like that?
Just a
So-
$12.
Well, damage, no. It's like the RV actually doesn't. The brakes were off pretty quick, but I don't know if that's because of that though. So that Paul will have to give you an insight on that one. I'm not that mechanically inclined, so I can tell that. I just know that the dolly has a lot of damage. The fenders are coming apart and the wiring's coming apart. So that's the one thing.
Just need to get a new one.
Yes, if you're going to the dumpster, pro advice is like probably leave your rig in Dawson City and take a truck camper rental or just your car and tent it. That's it.
I would tint it.
Tent it.
Let's see here. Who is this? Cindy Vorse. Love watching your travels.
Thank
So
you,
sweet.
Cindy.
Yeah, you're inspiring us to go on the road, especially to Alaska. We've heard stories that the roads used to be so bad in Alaska that RVers would sell the rigs up there for dirt cheap because they didn't want to drive them back.
No,
I haven't heard that.
misconception. But again,
maybe a while back. I mean,
we go back to all the stuff that we heard. Like even we heard, it's like that. It's horrible. It's like no, it's all highway. It's like,
bring extra nuts and bolts because everything's gonna rattle out. That was one we heard.
Mm-hmm. And after McCarthy, yes, but that was like again a side trip. It was not your main thing. But no, it's not that bad at all. It's like I think there's a lot of misconceptions about Alaska, including that there is bears here everywhere. It's like no.
Yeah, just the more signs you see, the less likely you are to see that animal. So just FYI.
Yeah, just so you know, like all the area back this way.
Oh yeah, let me turn you around a little bit
because it says it's closed for bear activity.
All those pink signs.
All the pink signs there, like all those are, bear activities are closed for. Yeah.
So naturally, we haven't seen any.
Yeah. Jerks. Let's see here. Notice that you level your RV while outside. Is that not add-on feature? See, these guys are fancy, right? They have this. They just push a button and it auto levels itself.
When we bought the rig like before, that was one of our must-haves, like self-leveling, jacks, because we didn't want to deal with that. Like I know a lot of the people with trailers and fifth wheels have to go through that. More if they're the older ones. The new ones, I think a lot of them come up with the electric ones. But no, that's something that we want to literally push a button and be done with it.
Yeah.
So once in a while, you will have to calibrate them. I think we probably were due for that. Mm-hmm. But that's about it.
Yeah.
You guys.
When you leave that RV peasantry life, such as vegan RV on this side of the table.
Oh,
we have my finger gets cramps from like having to hold the button down for so long.
So long.
Oh my God,
that sounds more like whining than anything. But fancy RVs, like the ones that had the awning from the beginning. Is like
So there's the self-leveling RV. The one thing that you have to remember is that you can't be going in and out because if you start to move the RV at all, that throws off the automatic leveling. It also throws off the regular levels, like if you have to manually. Mm-hmm. So like if you're going in and out,
because I always go in and out while leveling anyway. So that's probably wrong.
That's probably why it gets me. Just kidding. Anyway, so let's see here. So on the driver's side.
I close ourselves.
When you stay for multiple nights, do you have to re-level? No, I don't think so.
No.
I don't think we've ever
I never heard about that actually, but no, once it's level, it's there.
Yeah, I mean, unless you have like, unless the ground's soft, or maybe you have a leak in a hydraulic line. But no, it should just stay level.
We never do.
Well, that was Patrick. Cool.
Hey, Patrick.
All right. Rhonda Smith, when you figured your time in Alaska, would you have spent more time up there than we already kind of answered that one. What didn't you see in Alaska that you wish you had seen or done?
The bears.
The bears.
In Lake Clark and in Brook Falls. I think that's the only thing. I mean, the other thing I wanted to do, but I think weather-wise was never the right time. When it was nice, we were not in the right place. And when we were in the right place, weather wasn't really working with us. I went to land in the middle of a glacier. So basically a helicopter ride. And
you still have that chance.
I don't know.
Denali's got some of the most
it.
amount of glaciers out there. Denali State Park.
But are you able to
National
land
Park.
in the middle of it?
Why not?
Why not? With the right
I mean,
amount?
you can do whatever you want to. You know what I'm saying? Fly your drone in a national park?
No.
I'm just kidding.
We'll never
Just
do that,
kidding.
people. We'll
Don't
never
do
do
that.
that.
Shame on you if you do. Yeah. Is there
Anything that you guys would have liked to do or see you didn't do?
Go to Barrow.
I would have liked to have seen narwhals.
Yes. But
and
they're
the
not
walruses.
and walruses, yeah.
But
Out near
that would've
Kodiak
been-
Island. Is that what it is?
no.
Anyway,
it's-
there's like
yeah.
there's like a ton of walruses on this one island that you can fly out to.
Yeah, but it's really expensive. It was like $1,500
Yes,
a person.
yeah,
Or something.
it's-
Well,
It was just
that's the
stupid.
one thing that Paul and I we were talking about because
No, that's you. I thought it was Ozzy.
we are already late enough in the year that actually once we get to Fairbanks again, like we actually can fly out and see the polar bears. Paul was like, "Oh my God!" He's like, "We should go and check that out." And he's like, "Ka-ching, ka-ching."
Yeah, man, you gotta be a millionaire up here for some things.
For some things, not everything. So yeah, we have fancy taste. I didn't know that.
I mean, hold on.
I know. Kombucha.
Pinky's out. Let's see. Trying to keep this to Alaska. You recommend a 4x4 for Alaska in a smaller motorhome. You can come up here with it,
With
whatever you
anything.
want.
We
yeah.
have seen literally Integras coming up here. So
Integras.
the big 45-foot
Oh,
Class
yeah, yeah.
A's and
Sorry.
all that.
I don't understand the rich life over here.
We have seen,
I mean, we've seen truck campers on tows on
that was
what do you call those?
that
A
was
trailer.
yesterday,
On a trailer,
right?
yeah,
That
yeah.
was yesterday. We have seen it all here.
Yeah.
But we have seen like huge RVs. We have seen tiny, teeny RVs. People come here on any sizes.
Yeah,
here.
anything.
And
It'll be
no
fun.
problem. You will
Yeah.
find. Oh, that's another thing. We find camping anywhere and everywhere. We never had a problem with reservations or finding a spot until where we got that Hope, Alaska. But that was a weekend, so I would say
Mhm.
maybe on a weekend because a lot of the locals will go out and fish and all that.
It was also the time when the silvers were coming in, or the
Yeah.
pinks, whatever. It's when those fish were actually coming into the river, and so there were
it gets packed.
it gets packed because that's the easiest time to catch
And
them.
also, we understood and saw that the Kenai Peninsula is extremely popular with tourism because a lot of people
Mhm.
will fly or come in cruises here to Anchorage area. And I mean, the Kenai just gets full of people because it's so gorgeous as well. It's
Uh-huh.
one of the prettiest places I think here in Alaska. So I would say that's the only place I will worry about more reservations and more when you're in the peak of the season.
Mhm.
But besides that, it has not been a problem at
Yeah,
all.
I would say, especially from the fishing standpoint, I think that's the closest fishing area
I
to
heard-
Anchorage.
People like having a problem staying in Seward with that much camping there.
Yeah, yeah.
In
It's-
peak season, yeah.
Well, I mean, it was close to packed while we were there because, the Derby had started. Well, was starting
was
that
about to
weekend.
start,
yeah, and it was crazy there. There are a lot of people.
Yes.
And that's also a cruise ship port. So you have the cruises that also
Yeah.
come in there. So you're talking like a tiny town that's probably good to hold about 1,000 people, right? All of a sudden they get influxes of like 9,000 people at any one point.
It's a tiny town.
It's tiny.
Yeah. And when we were in Hope, we were talking, okay, we're at that decision point that from there we can go to Homer or we can go to Seward. And Kevin is like, oh, I researched, and the next like 3 or 4 days, he was something like that. There is no cruise coming into town, into Seward, and we're like, we're in. Let's go to Seward when there is not the crowds. So it was perfect timing. I think
it actually was really good
It
timing
was
because
good.
we had missed the Derby, or we got there before the Derby had started, and we missed the cruise ships. Because
And,
when the cruise ships come into town, internet basically grinds to a halt.
and we got good weather. Like it was rainy a few days, but we got 2 full days of good weather.
Beautiful
That was
weather.
Nice. Yeah.
Which you guys will see in an upcoming video. It's awesome. Let's see how much the night sun is thrown off your body clock.
See, I knew that question was going to come up at some point.
This
That
body
was-
clock?
Everybody, can you stop him, Laura?
That's the
I
beer
wish I
drinking.
could.
That's the beer talking.
I will say everybody's different. With Paul and I, we didn't have a hard time, like literally at all. It's like our windows really shade very well. It's extremely dark inside. Even on the so many days of 24-hour light, we will go to sleep. We're already night owls, so we will go to sleep late. And I think daylight gave us an excuse like for that. Like we felt more productive with more daylight. So we will go late to sleep, and then the one thing I have a hard time was not sleeping. It was the getting up, because it's always daylight. I will just see out and think like, oh, it's probably 4 in the morning when it was actually 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning. So that was my part I have a hard time with, the getting up, not actually going to sleep. Now these guys, I think, different, right?
Well, you guys are like party animals. You like to stay up all night.
No, but we didn't have problems actually sleeping, like when we had to sleep.
So I had problems figuring out when to stop working. Was my problem. Felt like I was being way too productive, like staying up and literally just on the computer, and all of a sudden you look up and it's like 1 in the morning. You're like, doesn't make sense.
You can measure the time. It's just so weird.
But it was also hard getting up because I would stay up so late. I liked it. It did bother me trying to go to sleep though, because when I see light, I'm thinking, let's tackle the day. And I couldn't do it.
I would say that.
Well, you guys also have those fancy blinds in your window. Probably blocks out all the light.
I think we have the same lines.
I'm trying here, folks. I'm trying.
I think that actually I missed the long days. It's like I thought it was something so weird at the beginning, but now that I've been go through them, I'm feeling like, oh my gosh, you can accomplish so much in a day when it's daylight. Because once it gets dark, you start feeling like, oh, I need to go into my house and do my dinner and do my own thing. And with so much daylight, you will always go, go, go. So I'm missing out the long days at this point. That's what it is. You, Laura, have a hard time?
Yeah, a little bit. It just shifted my schedule. I just would stay up later at night and sleep in a little bit later. That's pretty much what happened. I think I'm still stuck in that, actually.
I think you're stuck in I want to stay in the bed.
I do enjoy staying in bed.
You're like, I need to watch this show.
Work from bed. You can just be cozy. Right now that it's cold, like in the morning, it's like, oh, I'm so cozy. I just work from here on my
phone. Let's see here. That's not about Alaska. How expensive is the trip been so far?
Oh,
mega bucks. You better win the lottery to come up here.
I really don't know. Like, I have not really made specific numbers for the trip. I mean, it's like
it's best not to think about it.
Well, no, I am very crazy about that kind of stuff. Like, so I know my overall expenses as a household, but I have not like figured out like Alaska per se trip is like how much longer or how much more money has been. Now, groceries have been a little bit more for sure.
Yeah, like 10 to 20% more, depending on what it
is. Depending on the season, I feel like when we early got up here, the vegetables were really expensive because none of it was local.
Not just the vegetables. We got up here so early that the
Santa
Walmart
Claus
hadn't stocked. Like Walmart and Fairbanks hadn't stocked yet, so they were just getting like pallets and pallets of stuff for tourists.
Yeah.
What's he doing?
Just like stacked up in the middle of the aisle. It was really weird looking. But,
I didn't know that. Like, I didn't go through that.
I mean, all you have to do, really, gas is probably one of the most expensive
Yeah,
things,
the getting
right?
up here is expensive because you
Yeah.
go through Canada, and Canada is expensive.
Yep.
More if you're driving something this large. Like I know that there is other people that obviously that's why they throw in smaller rigs, so they have like their
Because they get 20 miles to
their
the gallon.
exact MPG
right?
is a lot higher.
Yep.
For us, it was like a big ouchie. Like I
Yeah.
remember one of the times that we fill up.
A big ouchie. That was cute.
No, I asked Paul one of the times we fill up. He's like, "How much was it?" And he's like, "Oh, it was like how much?" He told me like almost $300 or something like that for the
yeah.
full tank. And he's like, "Wasn't that bad?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" It's like it is pretty expensive.
Yeah.
And more in the remote places, right, where we went.
Yep.
So that has been like I think the biggest expense has been fuel.
Yeah.
Laura,
Especially because we haven't really stayed in that many campgrounds. A lot of it has been
Yes.
boondocking along the way.
yes,
So.
that has been nice. And Laura and I, we can like stock up on a few things on the lower 48, knowing that maybe up here will be more expensive or couldn't find them. So your big ticket items, try to get them down there. And once you get up here, is like just produce. Farmers market right now, it has been so cheap.
Oh, it's been awesome.
So
the farmers
cheap.
market is so good.
Like I'm loading up on vegetables. Like literally last weekend, like I had 3 full bags of vegetables and I spent like $25.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just that cheap.
It's awesome.
But that's later in the year, like
Yeah.
you said.
Yeah, earlier in the year, it's like they're just starting to plant stuff. So you're not going to see much of that.
So if you have a fuel efficient rig and you don't spend too much on food or going out to eat and you want boondock everywhere, it can be very cheap.
Yeah, you can do it. The gas is going to be the largest
If you're
cost.
going to come up and like a huge diesel pusher or class A somehow and go to eat everywhere out and that stuff and staying on campgrounds, it can be extremely expensive actually.
Yep.
But also leave yourself some budget to do some of the bucket list things like flying around Denali or flying to see the bears, or the glacier cruises, or if you're us, as many of those as possible. But
it's true.
Pick the ones that you want. And what's going on here?
Uh-oh, everything is shaking. Earthquake. What are you trying to do?
There he
Kevin?
is. Everybody's freaking out because they think Ozzy ran off.
Oh
no.
He's just chilling.
He's chilling. So I agree with Laura. It's like those bucket list items. I mean, again, you did all the trek up here and then you don't have the budget to do anything.
That would piss me off.
It's like do all the trek up here and still leave some money to be able to do some of that stuff. In our humble opinion, of course.
Right,
and there's activities for every budget, I have to say. Like there's activities that like literally going and walking on a glacier in McCarthy at Root Glacier video to come for us. They already posted it. Is like that cost us the rental of the crampons that was $25. That was it. I mean, it's like how cool is that? How cool is that you can talk about that experience and only cost you $25? Now going to see the bears on Brook Falls and all that, that's about a $700 tour. So that's pretty pricey for most people. So you have activities to different budgets too. So don't be afraid of going and do different things. And some of the airplane tours around here, sightseeing, they're actually like somewhat cheap too, right?
Yeah, they're not bad. I mean, the one that we did in Denali was $150 each.
Something like I can't remember.
And included lunch, isn't it?
Included. That was only $10 more.
Oh,
but
okay.
we just brought our own anyway.
Yeah,
but we flew out and then we took a bus back for 6 hours. So it was like 10-12 hours worth of like entertainment for $150.
And they got to see Denali from the air, like in a clear day.
And we got to see grizzlies and grizzly babies and the most amount of animals that this whole table has seen ever, besides fish.
Oh my god,
so many.
Are we gonna put it out there who won the contest?
You want arm wrestle for it? They got stomped,
but
I mean just demolished.
that lady had to open her mouth. If she has not said anything, we will have totally crushed you.
You don't know how much it has cost me to keep the animals away from you guys on your trip. We have literally just paid. We're like, please don't have any whales show up. I'm just kidding.
So yeah, they saw like a huge herd of caribou.
Yeah, we saw
so-
like a herd of like over 100 caribou, and I don't even know how this lady saw it. Just craziness.
Yeah.
So crazy.
So thank you, lady, whoever you are. You made us lose.
The lady with the glasses as thick as I don't know.
Mine.
Thick, yes, way thicker than yours. It was crazy. I didn't think the lady could see in front of her face, and she's like, "Caribou," and everybody's like, "What the hell are you talking about?"
Up on the hills, right?
And people like zoomed in on like their crazy telephoto lenses, and they're like, "Oh my god, there is like a herd of caribou on that ice."
So technically, they saw a lot of caribou,
They
but it was so far in the distance you can really barely see it.
No, I mean, I saw it.
Does it count?
I mean,
That's a question.
we
It's
had
like-
the official sign off on it.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
All right, back to this.
So serious.
Does gas have the same availability as diesel up here? I think so.
Yes.
I think every station we've been to has this, both.
Yeah, I think all of them have both. I think I have not seen like
The only thing I'll
gas
say is
stations
like
without either one.
the
But we heard from somebody, and this was a person that we met. It was in Dawson City that they had gone up the Klondike Loop. And we heard from him that he had planned a stop to fill up, and he has a diesel. He pulled a trailer, and they ran out of diesel. They didn't run out of diesel. I think they actually had closed the actual store so they can fill up there. Then when they have counted to fill up there. So just beware that if you cannot make it from major city to major city, just beware of that. Mostly diesel. I mean, fuel. We haven't had any problems with like fuel or gas at all.
No. I didn't hear a word you said. I was trying to fix something.
I know. I can see you laughing over there.
But what I wanted to add, if you didn't already say this, was diesel's more expensive than it is in the lower 48 up here. Because typically,
But in
diesel was always cheaper down in the lower 48. Up here, it's the same.
No, it's more expensive in lower 48. It's in Canada that it's cheaper.
It's about the same price right now.
Yeah.
That's what I said, everybody. Just rewind it.
Yeah.
You'll hear it. Just play it backwards.
See? Oh my God.
There we go.
Giving misinformation. What's up with that?
I quit. I quit.
That's how it starts
I know.
in YouTube.
See, that's probably what started like the roads are terrible. There's no water. Bring all the gas tanks. That was me 3 years ago.
That was
started-
you?
Yep,
Okay.
I started.
Here's the thing. He says that, right? But okay, how many spares for the RV are you carrying? Exactly. And that's him being paranoid. It's like,
No, we don't have a place to mount one.
there is
Yeah.
I think that you can actually get to mount a spare tire pretty easy.
We just hang it from our
no,
left.
Oh my God.
Man, we're not the Clampets over here. Come on.
I don't
Golly.
know.
This is messed up.
You have a spare for the car?
There's
I think there's one
I
underneath.
think it has a
a
real one
donut
too.
Or a real one.
Oh my God, they're not even sure if they have one.
No, we definitely have one. I just can't remember. I think it's a real tire.
Well,
now
here's the
instead of a
thing.
donut.
If it blows up, I'm going to have to go look at the tire anyway to figure out what it is.
Yeah, but when it blows and you're in the middle of nowhere with no cell phone signal.
That's why
That-
I keep receipts from Kaufman Tire in shout out to the one in Santa Fe, New Mexico. You are awesome.
That
Is
was
where we got
very
it?
random.
I don't know. That's where we bought our tires last.
It's a beard talking.
No, if you go back to the videos, that's where they came and surprised us. I hold it very
No,
dear to
that
my
was
heart.
Not Santa Fe.
It
That
was
was
the other place,
Albuquerque.
Albuquerque. They're so close. They're literally like this
What had to do with tires in Alaska?
because we bought the tires on the car from this place when we met you guys in Albuquerque.
Yeah.
Oh,
See how we're making everybody,
Yeah.
y'all feeling this one?
Okay,
Yeah.
let's move on from there.
All right.
Next question.
Does gas have the same availability as diesel?
We just
That's
my
what it is.
God.
What's next after Alaska?
Going south.
Getting out of the weather,
That's as far as we go.
seeing less animals,
Like we were
beaches. weather.
talking, we were talking with someone, I can't remember who, about this, about like we just don't make plans, because if you over plan and then doesn't go your way, you get all frustrated.
Yeah.
So just take it as it goes. Let's see where you feel like going, and that's the reason you're RVing, so you can do that. I know there's a lot of you planners out there. You need to know where you're going and have reservations.
All right, trapper keepers.
And so that's okay too. It's just not our way. So where do we go from here? We
David
don't know.
Allen Coes.
It's going south.
Yeah.
To warm weather.
Yeah. Okay, here's a fun fact. We don't even have reservations for tomorrow. And we know we have to stay here because Paul's not here. Otherwise, I have to move 2 RVs. Well, Lorena can do one.
Yeah.
She's a
I
tough
can
cookie,
try.
man.
I haven't told Paul, but Paul, if you're here, if you stay longer in Las Vegas, I'm literally going to take the RV by myself and just go to Fairbanks, and I wait for you there. Because we have stayed here for too long at this point. Nobody else is here anymore.
Well, there's not much to, I mean, to me, what town are we in? Anchorage.
Seriously, I need to take this away from you.
I'm sorry, everybody.
Too much.
I had to drive twice today. And we went to REI. I've like overextended myself. This is just a getting things done town. Like,
yeah, I'm surprised about how much Anchorage doesn't have. It has your amenities, 2 Costco's, 3 Walmarts, Cabela's, Bass Pro Shops. It has REI,
Best Buy,
Target,
Apple Store.
I mean, it has Nordstrom Rack too.
Nordstrom Rack.
Yeah,
somebody got some new pants.
Fancy pants, got stuff, and
fancy pants. I like
literally. But they have every single amenity here. So once you have drove for so long into small town to small town, I think here is like you come to restock to Costco and restock everything in your RV and all that stuff. So, but for things to do, I don't feel like there's that much to do here. And everything that is touristy to do, like flying over stuff, I mean, like the airplanes or helicopter rides and all that, so expensive.
Yeah,
Because,
and Paul's not here.
Yeah, I know.
We would not be hanging out here this long.
Yes, I mean,
it's also a through city. Like if you're going to the Kenai, you gotta come through Anchorage, and so you've got to go through it twice, no matter what.
Now, with that being said, outside of the city, there's a lot of cool stuff. We went to Beluga Point.
Yep.
And actually got to see belugas.
Did we? You'll have to look at the videos coming up.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's nothing like seeing the video and tell you where exactly it was and all that stuff. But
that was awesome.
I mean, there's so much cool stuff around. Just Anchorage is just a city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just to get some stuff done.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay, Paul has texted us.
Uh-oh.
Ozzy is protecting us from the bears. Thank you, buddy. And he's off post. Where'd he go?
I know. He's around here. He has been like that for 3 days. Like, he literally roams around.
He's probably sitting on our
Earlier
stairs.
today, like, he was inside of their RV. Like, he literally was
I came
on
over.
bedroom and all that stuff.
Well, I wasn't there trying to, like...
You want to go back to the long one?
Paul says touch on solar. How long have we been off the hook? That's a sad story. We're not even going to talk about that.
No, violence. Yeah, she put a sad song.
We went 84 days.
That was 85 days.
And then we had to meet what we will now deem as Site 21, which is a BS site, by the way. Don't ever stay there.
Why?
Well,
because crappy sun.
Well, it was raining.
We have had nonstop rain.
And
I was gonna say, if you had been on a different, more sunny side with all that rain,
I would have tried harder.
Yeah,
I think I would have tried harder.
You should have moved then. I'm just saying.
No, we like being close to you.
It would have been nice to say that we never
look.
in Alaska, but
you can't take care of yourself.
85 days is nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, 85 days. We did it. Boom. What's up?
Yeah.
And that was pretty much being at 100.
Let's call it like a glitch. Let's just see this part as a glitch and just like keep going like if nothing happened.
Laura, we
admitted it on the video now. We're going to have to go out and kill everybody who is listening.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
To keep that secret.
I'm telling you, be careful.
Put your name in the comments.
Be careful with the quiet
Make
ones.
sure to comment.
Yeah, be careful with the quiet ones.
I'm telling you.
Okay, so we're going to get, so there's no more Alaska questions unless Paul has come up with something. I don't see anything.
Okay.
So now we're just going to go into some rando questions.
Okay, no more Alaska questions. We're done with Alaska.
Well, is there anything you want to say about the trip that we haven't covered so far?
About the trip, I mean, I guess the only biggest learned lesson I had was like you need to be here long enough to wait out the weather in each place. I think that's the biggest lesson.
Yep.
Because yes, I will say from between place and place, sometimes there's not that much to do. Like if you go like, I don't know, from here to Fairbanks, the only stop is Denali, but in between it's like not that much to do. So, but when you get to a destination place, make sure you're there for a week.
Yeah.
So you can wait out the weather. So I will say that's my biggest learning lesson. Also, being layers.
Yeah.
Because it's cold at night.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
Yeah, I would say. Yeah, I mean, I like that, especially. We got to Homer, and we didn't stay in Homer very long because there was a hurricane, a downgraded hurricane coming through, or a tropical storm or something like that, and everybody always talks about how much they like Homer, and I got there and I was like, this place sucks because it's raining and overcast. It was just, and the parking lot that we were in was just crappy.
Yeah, because
I just wanted more out of it.
Puddles and everything. Yeah. So yeah, we would have stayed long enough to wait out the weather.
It probably would
our
have been
experience
really nice.
Would have been different.
Yeah.
But I think that's the biggest take I had from Alaska is that, and there's a lot of misconceptions about Alaska. It's not that bad. Roads are not that bad. You can get fuel from major city to major city all the way. It doesn't matter the time of the year. So I think that's my also biggest thing is like there's a lot of misconceptions out there.
Yep. Yeah.
So that's where let's gonna close Alaska.
Yes. In fact, I'm just gonna jump over here.
Yeah.
Real quick. Because some of these are like, hey, how do you get your mail? I think you guys have covered that a couple times.
Well, I guess like we need to do like an actual video answering some of our daily RV, how we do some stuff like the mail and that kind of stuff. So you guys can know that it's very easy for us. But
actually, you want to know something? There is something that we haven't seen yet.
Yet.
That we're not leaving this place until we see it. We are not going to the lower 48 until we see this.
Even if it snows, is a question. So
man, it's gonna be a tough decision.
Here's the thing. We could have actually seen that already if it was not for the weather.
Yes. Thank you, Anchorage.
Yes, it has been overcast. But the Northern Lights, the Auroras, we are not going to leave. That's our timeline. And that's the one reason, actually, Paul and I, we did the loop the opposite way. Most people will go Fairbanks and Alley down to Anchorage, Kenai, and then out, Valdez and out. We did it the opposite way on purpose. So we could be on the north side for later time in the year when the Auroras are out. And there is some night as well. And it was the last 3 nights, or what was it?
No, August 20th was supposed to be the start of a few nights of really good auroras.
Mm-hmm. So there was a few nights out here that we supposed could be able to see them from Anchorage. Like we actually were able, but it was so overcasted that we couldn't see anything. But we have a friend in common, Sweetie Travels, that she was down in the Yukon. Somewhere in the Yukon, and she had amazing pictures.
Amazing.
Yeah, Kluane. I think she was at Kluane.
Yeah, it was just like with her RV, and I mean, there was.
And she's a good photographer too.
Yeah,
so spectacular.
Killer photos.
It's like we were so jelly for sure, but it's so like we will get to see them. It's just waiting for them.
Yep. I mean, you'll be able to see auroras. You just gotta catch it at the right time. It's a moving thing that happens. So. And maybe Steve will come out and hang with us.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you want to explain what Steve? Because actually Laura brought it up.
I don't think Steve knows what Steve is.
Yeah.
It's still.
It's another. So it's another light in the sky that looks more like a pink beam, and photographers have been catching it, but scientists haven't really had a chance to study it very well. So they know it's not the same as auroras, but they don't know exactly what's causing it. So
so they call it Steve. That is not the formal name, and it's not the
an acronym.
It's an acronym for Steve.
So we're trying to see Steve.
So this is so Chris. Any chance that you've seen tauntauns? I have not. I keep looking. I keep looking.
Tauntauns?
Yes,
What is
Star
that?
Wars.
Oh,
That's the thing that Luke cuts open and they put him in. Actually, I think Han Solo does that.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's awesome. No, I haven't seen any
there's
Tauntauns.
Ozzy,
It's
in case
awesome.
anybody cares.
There's Ozzy Tauntaun. So, Paul, I would just like to read what Paul wrote. He goes, they're in Anchorage. Maybe they'll see them. I heard the chances of me seeing the Auroras in Vegas tonight is 0. Chances of seeing prostitutes, very good. I think you're right. He's spot on.
Isn't that a little bit TMI? With TME?
TMI?
I'm just saying. He's like,
Anything goes on the lives, man.
I consider for a little bit just going to Vegas with Paul just to have some warm. It's like 100 degrees warm.
Oh, we were trying to pay so she would leave. I'm
What?
just
You're
kidding.
trying to get rid of me.
No,
Oh.
we're not. Well, those are Tauntauns.
Oh my god.
Oh, sorry, boy. You guys in chat. I am missing chat tonight. You guys are always so freaking funny. Way funnier than me. Let's see here.
See, and this is also, by the way, guys, before we continue, we're trying to change the format of the actual live. And I know it's going to be for some of you a little bit harsh, the change of the format, because we're not actually answering questions out of the actual chat all the time. We have when we create the actual event, you can post your questions there and then we will answer them. Want to keep like the actual live shorter than 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
Well, we're at an hour and 6 minutes.
Okay, so we need to
we'll probably wrap it up.
But the other thing also is like, so we can be more, instead of trying to search the questions and being just having handy, answer them and be able to actually read comments and have fun with you guys. And that's why instead of trying to look for a question, more like be trying to interact with you guys more based on the comments. So I think like that's why we're trying to change the format a little bit.
You know what's funny is all this is coming up under your account. So
why is she saying that?
Oh,
I'm gonna
You're gonna get banned.
Yeah.
Banned, yeah.
Exactly.
You're gonna go to Google jail.
Awesome.
Oh my god.
Anyway, so people are saying they like 2 hours.
They like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Well, next time we also read some of your comments because some of them, like Kevin says, they're pretty funny.
Man, they're so
some
good.
of you are pretty clever. Like we're missing all this Ray Clark and Amy's comments. I can't believe we have been missing them.
Yeah. I know they've been sitting here going back and forth. So. Anyway, I mean, it's 5:07.
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
I will say, let's give it until 5:15, a few minutes, and let's read some comments.
Read some comments.
Or if there is a question.
The problem is nobody stuck to the all caps, I don't think.
No, that's the thing. But
so many, you guys are great. Keep it coming.
Oh, thank you guys. Seriously, guys. I mean, without you guys, we will not be the Motorhome experiment. You're the guys who creates this family and create this like so much cool vibe of fun people together. And I know we don't agree on every single topic, and we know that, but you know what, we agree in that we love traveling and we love RVing, and there is where we need to stick and just like have fun with life. Don't take anything too seriously. Some people see something in a video and they're like, oh my god, I'm subscribing because you just mentioned this word or this whatever. It's like they're so touchy. It's like, we have one life, live it, be happy. That's exactly what it's about. So thank you guys.
So there were a couple of donations in chat. I want to go ahead and call them out. Yeah. So Seeking Serenity, $10, said struggling to come up with a question, failing. We just love listening. Your sense of humor fits us best of any other channel we watch. Looking forward to a meetup in Quartzsite this year.
Oh, so goofy sense of humor you're talking about. So, because that's what we have.
And then
what? See, he's laughing already. Even before.
Paul, what a dumbass. He goes, so Lorena, you tipped us $20. It says, have a drink on me. Oh shit, that's my own money. Right?
Oh my god.
That was awesome. I'm sorry I didn't catch that earlier, Paul. That was good. So funny.
So great. You know, like all that income from YouTube that is almost non-existent. Yeah, not only that, gets taxed. So I'm gonna get taxed on my own money.
Oh, no.
That's awesome. Paul would say, hit the like button. So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed.
Yes.
Oh,
guys.
wait, no, but how do you guys do that in the video? He goes, check us out. And in order to get alerts, you need to.
And then I wait for a minute and then it's subscribe.
There you go. All right. So just so we could keep that.
Oh, he always catches me off guard. So I'm like, what?
That's awesome.
Like, this is my zone out time.
Exactly.
Hey, Kevin, where's the whistle? It's in the RV. I always forget that thing. Sorry.
I was ringing it out. So, guys, like
Lorena, we have one dislike. What the? I don't know, Lorena. You keep saying the weirdest stuff in chat.
I'm sorry. It's like it's my hands over here. They're over here just typing. That's why I donated myself $20 because I didn't know I was like pressing.
That's awesome. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
So good.
Oh no, thank you guys. It's like they said, if you haven't subscribe so you can get, and make sure you have also like there's like a little bell to get notifications. So when we post any video or something like that, you can actually get a notification there is a new video. Some people don't know you have to actually go and select notifications. And it's like I'm the one in charge of Instagram. Paul is in charge of YouTube. So if you see any comments from there, it's like you know who is talking to you directly. Facebook usually is kind of random, mostly Paul actually answering, but make sure to follow us on all of those ways or social media. Also, Vegan RV, they actually started a YouTube channel not too long ago.
Oh my god!
And they have been posting all their Alaska videos as well,
Yep.
and they're more up to date for sure than us. Just saying.
Well, they're super short videos edited on a iPhone. Just
but it's all about experience and give you tips also
Yep.
about up here, so that's pretty amazing.
Yep.
So also make sure to subscribe to their channel, support them. And Instagram, Laura handles all Instagram. She's an amazing photographer, I have to say. She totally kills it. And you have Facebook?
oh my god! Hold on, I'm getting yelled at.
For
I'm getting
Vegan
yelled
RV.
at.
For what?
How are you doing, Laura? Literally, that's the past 80 comments right now.
Why?
How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Health wise.
Fine.
She looks good.
I'm good.
Okay.
Good.
Anyway, no, that's literally, it was going insane.
I
Right there.
posted, so there's an update on our website because I went and had some lab tests done, and it's like after 6 months of changing my eating, so you'll see how my results have changed.
So good.
Pretty
I mean, she
amazing.
looks good, right?
Oh my god, make it creepy. Make it more creepy with those eyes. There you go.
There you go.
Anyway, so let's wrap it up, and thank you guys for showing up. I know Pablito wasn't here. He was like with you on the chat. He is running a little bit behind on the videos, on the YouTube videos, because he is in Las Vegas working, and his schedule is the guys start up there at 3 a.m. So I have to get up at 2 a.m. So it's a hard schedule when he goes back to Vegas to be with the guys. So just cut him home slack, and he's not gonna be posting like I'm not sure if anytime soon, like at least until he comes back. So
And then give him a couple days of rest.
yeah,
the man a break.
It's like he feels so pressure, like he has to put out a video. And I know you guys are like so nice that you will be like, no problem. It's like just give him some rest. And so that's why we have not been posting videos. It's like because Paul is in Vegas. But with that being said, he's back soon.
Yep.
And
Can't wait.
we will resume all the videos as soon as he gets back.
And Patreon. High five.
Oh, almost high five.
Hold on.
Well,
No, wait, this is the
no,
high five.
It's like because
Because it's not there yet.
because
So
while
close.
Paul is not here, somebody else is saying a patron. It's just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying. But anyway, so
Gotta support these folks, man. They work hard. I mean, I see how hard you two work at this, and I would not want to work that hard.
oh, so thank you. That was 100.
Yeah. Awesome.
Thank you guys. So
Anyway,
thank you for tuning in.
cool.
Bye
See ya.
guys.
Bye, Paul.